for Lewisham. The next train at platform 4 is for Bank.
Well, I'm back here in my office, ready for what's going to be the hellest of unveilments ever, because obviously I was there for 3 days. I had a fantastic time. Dan had a fantastic time, / Killer M. He had a fantastic time. He met Catherine Isabel, Kane Hodder, Tony Hard, a lot of people. We all met a lot of people. We all had fun. We all went to different panels, different conventions, things like that. I took what I could. Because obviously, with a lot of people there, it was very hard to do what I could do, but I managed to do what I could do. So, first thing I'll get out of the way, because obviously, besides Comic Con, we went into London town itself, like, for example, their HMV, and I had to buy some things from their HMV. That's what these are here. I want to get that out of the way, just so, if anyone actually says, "Oh, you didn't," because some people know how much I brought. Obviously, some of that money I saved up, I had to use for like the hotel, the tickets, and excuse me, obviously food to survive. And I bought these while I was there. I got A Night to Remember. This is, in my opinion, the best Titanic film out there. I know everyone always says, "Oh, the other Titanic film is the greatest one," but the thing is, it. This is how I'm going to say it, because a lot of people can write their own thing. But how I saw it it's just basically a love story mixed with the greatest tragedy in the entire planet. And literally, I'm not joking. I remember one of the interviews, someone actually stated, this is a recent one, but I don't know if you can find it on telly or on the internet or anything like that. I can't remember who it was, but someone interviewed James Cameron and said, as a joke, "Is your next film going to be 9/11, a love story?" And like I said, it sounds disrespectful saying it like that, but that's how the new Titanic film felt like to me as well. A love story mixed in with the greatest tragedy of all time. This is literally the greatest tragedy of all time, because it's basically the Titanic film nobody remembers. I know it because it's obviously in the title. So this is the greatest Titanic film in my opinion, not the newest one with DiCaprio and Winslet. I also got with it Toys, underrated Robin Williams film, and there's a few that people can list, but obviously some of them he was in like side roles. For example, like Fern Gully, he was in that, but no one remembers it that much because there was other characters in there, like including Tim Curry himself. The only other, this is one of them. The other one that people said is underrated is 1 Hour Photo, because he was like a villain in that, a psychotic villain, which, stalker type villain. I've only heard of it. I've never seen it, but I will. That's one on my list to look for. Uh, with those two, I got Sing. I know a lot of people might say, "Why Sing?" But again, I'm sort of a sucker for like animated type films, and I've heard this is really good. So what the hell? It was only like $2.99, so it's not like I broke the bank on it. And I got these two as well. First, Hatchet. Killer M first told me that this is a good film, and when he went to, because he got a copy, he brought a copy of this for Kane Hodder to sign, and Kane actually said to him that this is the greatest film he worked on. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. So after that, I read a bit of the info on the back of it, and I kept getting this confused with the other film, Wrong Turn. And literally throughout the entire day, it was like this, and I was become a fish. So literally, I got hooked on this. So that's the reason why I got it. And another film here, Grizzly. Now, I've heard of Grizzly, but I've never seen Grizzly. But basically, this is like the spiritual. Sorry, my throat there. This is the spiritual successor to Jaws. Now, not in the sense of like, oh, it's a shark, things like that. Like everyone, like all the modern shark films always claim they are the spiritual successor to Jaws. They're not. They're just ripping off a beloved franchise. This is the spiritual successor. Where Jaws made going into the water scary, Grizzly made going out on land scary. you know, especially going into the woods, you know. So if you've never heard of Grizzly, this is one I'd recommend you watch, especially if you love Jaws. Get this, because you're never going to be disappointed. Like I said, I've not seen it yet. I've heard of it, but that's, you know, that's what I'm saying. If you've not heard of it, get it, give it a go. Right, so that's the you know, all the non-Comic Con stuff dealt with. It's time to get what I got in Comic Con, and obviously, first thing I got arriving, I got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bag. This is the new one, Rise of the Ninja Turtles. I also got a comic with it. I don't know if I can't find it straight off the bat because I'm looking through all the things I've got here. But it's basically a King Arthur comic. If I can find it, I will take a photograph of it. I think I know where it could be, but I got a King Arthur comic. It's basically a graphic comic involving King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. So I thought that's quite interesting. Killer and me got a Moomins comic, and I thought, "Ooh, Moomins, that's interesting." But you know, I'm one of them people. It's like two halves. Free gift. Hang on, I'll get in the camera. There, yeah, from Magic Madhouse. It's a little Pokemon, and this is it. Unfortunately, I have no idea who this is. So if you know who this is, please like comment it on the like thing, you know, on the comment section, or even send me a personal message of what it is, because I'm still in the knowledge of the 1 to 150 or slash 151, you know, Mew. Anything beyond that, I'm like, so trust me, I have no idea on any of the Pokemon. It's all changed because it's now like, I think I watched a recent video. It was talking about the Pokemon movies, and there's apparently now 802. I'm still in 150 the territory because trust me, I'm hopeless. I'm really hopeless with the thing when things add on to things, especially when you stop watching it and new things keep getting added. Like who, what, how, who, what? It make, like I say, if you can understand where I'm at, you can understand it. So, oh, God, my neck's very stiff. So obviously I got some more free items. This was from one of the comic stands. I got 2 DC badges. You know, just like a basic blue and white traditional DC logo, and I got like a I'm gonna say metal DC logo. I thought because they were free, what the hell. I also got a Green Lantern's ring. So, you know, beware my power, asshole. Green Lantern's light. I also got a few other comics. Some of them were free, like I was going to say here's 2 of them as example, because there were a few more later on in the day. I got Damage, and Teen Titans Go. I don't like Teen Titans Go, but I thought, what the hell? Because I'm one of them people that's like, if it didn't work on telly, it probably worked better as a comic. And a good example of this would be the old Simpsons comics. I don't know if they're still going or not, but it was like, it worked well on the telly. I thought, because they're doing it as a comic, it could really work well as a comic. It just half and half. Some episodes did, you know, some comics did, some didn't. So, you know, and it was free, so I'm not going to complain. Because obviously I'm going to put like prices of like what I paid for this and what the total price is altogether, just so I don't have to do a thing at the end. I got 2 comics. First one's Batman number 50. As you can see, it's still sealed up, so I've not fully read it yet, but it's one of those things. I just like the idea. I'm one of them people that's like, I have to get like anniversary, no, I wouldn't say anniversary things, but you know, like sort of segmented things like 25, 50, 100, 150, something like that. You know, I'm just one of them people. Next thing's Action Comics. This is number 1000, so this is absolutely incredible. I wish it didn't have Superman on the cover, but I think it just adds more to the like ooh a bit onto it. And you know, I'm one of them people. It's like because like I said, because it's number 1000, I could not let that just stay there. I got a few other things with it, like some posters, but obviously I can't show them because I've got very limited space here. I got in another comic section, The Edge of Venomverse. Now this is, I did a bit of a flick through this, and this is because if you remember my Loot Crate thing, I talked about a few characters being, you know, attacked by the Venom symbiote, like Wolverine, Groot, things like that, and that's where some of these stories come from. Because one of them, I've heard of them, but I didn't realize there was one, which is Gwenpool, which is basically Gwen Stacy being Deadpool. That's what I'm just guessing from the title. I've not had a full like research bit, but you know, that's what I think. And apparently she was attacked by the Venom symbiote, or I should say fused with the Venom symbiote, and I thought, wow, that's something interesting. You know, and for this, I thought, because it's about 5 stories in one, I'm not going to complain. It's in one big book. So I'm glad I've got this, something to like fully read over. Official Rick and I say official, but Rick and Morty script. This is from the pilot episode, or episode 1. And if you know of Rick and Morty, you know which episode 1 is. It's the one where I'm trying to remember now because I've actually watched it about a week before I went on this trip, and it was the mega fruit, the mega seeds. That's where we got introduced to nearly all the characters. You know, Rick, Morty, Beth, Jerry, Summer, the principal, the teacher. You know, things like that. And it is actually signed by a lot of the characters. I know that's obviously Justin Rowland. I think the other 3 are the additional voices, and I've actually do because there were loads of these. I know Killer ME got a Beetlejuice one, and I thought it was between either this or Beetlejuice, and literally Rick and Morty won out because I could not say no to it. It was, you could have got multiple things, but I think we both chipped in together to get it. So, but in the end, he wanted a few more than me, so we both ended up. He got what he got. I just got that one. So we didn't save a lot of money in the end, but who cares? It's one of those things. We brought our own money, which 2 stubborn men don't agree on doing a deal. How great is that? Next thing, this is the bugger of the lot. These are all Blu-rays. Well, all but one is Blu-rays. This is the only DVD. I'll get this out of the way. Season 3 of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now, if you don't know of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, you just, I wouldn't say a loser, you just don't know anything much. But yeah, this is during the era of, if I can remember, this is when a lot of the characters were changed, like Jason, you know, was the Red Ranger, and then it became Rocky. Trying to remember, Aisha, I think it was, became Trini, the Yellow Ranger, and Zach became Adam, because this was after the movie, I believe. So that's, you know, this was when it was like sort of going through that slow decline of like popularity. So we can't say much about that, can we? Because everything has to decline slowly, and that's obviously when it changed from that to Zeo. Attack on Titan Junior High. I've heard of this, and when I saw it, because I actually only watched the first episode, and I noticed there was a massive difference between the original and the Junior High version. And not just talking about like the art style, the character style, things like that. You know, just basically in the whole story style, there is a difference, because where the original version, it is definitely all action, adventure, things like that. This one's just definitely comedy. And the only thing I can closely compare it to is that Ruby Chibi. If you've never seen Ruby or Ruby Chibi, then you probably won't understand it. But if you just look up, like, just type in on the computer Ruby, RWBY, and then Ruby, RWBY, Chibi, CHIBI, then you'll notice that there is a difference just in the looking of the two things. So you'll notice that there will be a different show. And another example would be Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans, that was definitely all action, that was definitely all drama. Teen Titans Go, that was just stupid, childish actions. And I'd say this is sort of the same, but obviously they tried to keep everything from the original Attack on Titan. They just didn't just thought, right, new show, new everything. They just thought, right, let's take what was, from that to this sort of style. And I can't say no to Attack on Titan. I love it. My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away. Falling out then. I've heard of Studio Ghibli, or Ghibli, however you want to pronounce it, and these were two of the most iconic films I've heard of. I heard of Spirited Away from a lot of people, from like Facebook groups, different like people, and even I watched on Facebook a video with Adam Savage dressing up as No Face from this. So I thought, well, what the hell? If he says it's a good film, then it's worth it. And that goes the same with My Neighbor Totoro, because a lot of people have said that's a good film. And some people have said you can't watch one without the other, so I had to get both. Prison School. Now, excuse me. Prison School. This is another one done by Funimation. Oh, Jesus, need a drink. I'll be right back. So, Prison School, it's basically... I'm trying to think how to, like, simplify it, but Killer M told me, give this a watch. I've had a lot of people also say, give this a watch, because of sort of what happens. And basically, in the first episode, it lines everything up. But basically, these 5 guys, they get... Because there's a school they go to, it was originally all girl, then all of a sudden, I think like the higher-ups of that school decide to make it co-ed as an experiment. And these are the 5 guys that get included into it. And then they do something inappropriate, and then they all get sent to the prison school. Hence the name Prison School. And so far, I've been watching this online while I was in London. And I've actually been enjoying it that much that I thought, right, I think it was after the 2nd episode, I thought, right, I'm going to have to buy this. And I did, and that's pretty much it. I can't say much more than that. If you like daft, childish things mixed with serious attitudes, then this is sort of the thing. I can't find there's only one show I can closely compare this to, and that's going to be the next item, which is all 4 of these, which is... Assassination Classroom. Oops, got a piece of paper there, throw that away. Got all 4 bits of Assassination Classroom. Season 2 Season 1 Part 1 Part 2, which is these 2, and Season 2 Part 1 and 2 right here. I just could not say no to them because obviously there are so much things. But if you've ever heard of Assassination Classroom, then definitely get it. But this is the closest comparison I can think of to Prison School. But basically, a bunch of students, this is like the last line, because these kids have been branded by the school board, everything, the principal, everything, as the outcasts. They're never going to get anywhere in life. Once they've done with school, they're just going to rot away into nothingness. They're never going to get a job. They're never going to get a proper education, things like that. So that means that the only thing they can do is start all over again, or, as the saying goes, just rot away and die. But then there's a teacher here who is unbelievably different, I'm going to say mutation, because that's what he was in the end. But you know, a different type of teacher who actually sort of gives these students the confidence, the the education that they need. But there's a catch. All the students have to try to kill the teacher at the same time, so that's where it goes. This is definitely one of those shows that after you've watched the first episode, it will either put you in two places. I'll either say, no, I don't want to watch this anymore, this is a stupid idea, or you think, right, I want to watch more of this. That's where I was. I was like, right, I want to watch more of this. I'm enjoying this. Next, I went to a place called... Well, first, I got this for free. A little artwork. I can't remember who did it, but I took a picture off the top of my head. But I took a picture of the stand where I got it from. And I just saw this. I thought, this is fantastic. This is definitely something of my caliber, you know. So I just thought, this is absolutely unbelievable. This is amazing artwork. I have to have it. And because it was free, I couldn't say no. Because if it did, it'd be like, well, why? I got these from a group. I'd say group. A place a friend of mine recommended. They're called the Poster Posse. And first one's obviously Jaws. The view from the shark looking at the first victim. And the second one's Alien, where they spot the space jockey, go down and they see the nest of alien eggs. This is definitely brilliant. They had a bigger version of this, but obviously it was sort of like a combination of price and size, you know, and location. It just wouldn't fit, so I had to let the big one go and get the smaller ones instead. The other one, which is these are all postcards, so you can actually put this up as one, but I'll only show you the first one because it's basically, if you get the joke, you get the joke, but it is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. As you can see, there is King Arthur and Patsy with the coconuts in his hand, visiting the first tower, where they ask themselves, where the hell... So you've ridden all this way, and you're just banging two coconuts together. You telling me a sparrow carried coconuts? It could be a European sparrow. I'm just going to go on with that if I don't shut the hell up. Second one I got, because he wanted me to get these, so I got him Halloween posters. There's a blue one and an orange one. Personally, wrong side. I personally prefer the blue one because I think that just adds to, I wouldn't say the horror, but, you know, adds to the sort of inept bit of it more than the orange. Because the orange one, it just sort of looks like too much effort, if that makes sense. I know Halloween, it had like the orange pumpkin like masks type thing, and I thought that was a very clever idea. But for the two, I still have to go with the blue. I'm sorry. Everyone has their own thing. Some people might say the orange is better, but I'd like the blue personally. Excuse me. Something else I also got is excuse me, a set of Pokemon badges. These are all from the Kanto region, league badges. I'm trying to remember who's who. You know, Brock, Misty, yeah, like I said, there's a lot I can't remember off the top of my head, but I like the original Pokemon series. Excuse me. God, I got hiccups now. Yeah, I like the original Pokemon series. I love the badge design. Love the badges. I actually wanted to build my own set of badges when I was a kid, but obviously I couldn't because I wasn't that good at it. But yeah, so I couldn't say no to that. What more can I say, can I? But yeah, that's something I wanted, and I finally got it. Next thing, video games. I've got a lot of video games here to talk about. First one is Biohazard 3 Last Escape. Now, some people might be looking at that and thinking, hey, hang on, what the hell? But this is the actual and official Japanese version of the game. If you don't agree, there is the back of it, and I think on the disc it actually says, "Yeah, there it is." Hang on, let me just try and get it in focus. But there it is. It says that they're NSTCJ, which means this is a Japanese only game, which means this will not work on my console. But do I care? Do I not? Because I only found out about, I wouldn't say this particular game, but I only found out about the title of this about a week before I went on holiday, because I watched a video from a YouTuber I subscribe to, called Scorpion. I recommend you watch it, especially if you love Resident Evil or anything about Resident Evil. And I found out that, obviously, I knew the titles were called Biohazard in Japan instead of Resident Evil. What I didn't know was that because ours is called Nemesis, theirs is called Last Escape. And I didn't know that until, obviously, I watched his video, and I thought, well, that's interesting, because I honestly thought it would have had the same title, Nemesis, but it didn't. So again, that's the sort of the reason why I'm one of them people that love things that are different, because obviously look at this, that is a lot different than ours, because that's obviously the English side of it, that's the Japanese side. So it's absolutely interesting to know. Hang on, there we go. That is unbelievable. You know, as like a collector of anything exotic. Well, excuse me. That something from Japan is worth getting. There were a few other things I saw, but that one struck me more than anything else. Mostly because I knew what that was than everything else. Some of them I didn't realize it until I looked at the cover, because I think I saw one. It was a Yu-Gi-Oh one. It said Shin Duel Monsters. That's the only part of it that was in English, and I thought, huh. Is this a new Yu-Gi-Oh game? I looked it up. It's basically Forbidden Memories, just the Japan version. I thought, oh. So I thought, I'm not wasting my money on that one. Just, me. Lost Vikings on Super Nintendo. Now, I've heard a few people talk some good things about this, and I've seen a lot of YouTubers talk about this as well. So I think I've seen 5 YouTubers talk about this, and only one have said bad things about it. So it's one of those things that's like, well, if he says bad things about it, he might not like the game, and that's what it is. And in the world of YouTube, you have your own voice, you have your own opinion, and I'm not going to say anything about it. The next one is The Mask. Now, this is obviously based on the movie with Jim Carrey. I've heard of it because I've seen a few people try to sell it, but I think the last time I saw this for sale, it was someone was asking, and this is in the same condition like this right now, but they was asking £50 for it, and I thought that is too much. I want it, but I don't want it that much. I got it for a lower price, as you can see on the board, so I'm not going to complain about it. The group that did it here is called Black Pearl. I've never heard of Black Pearl before. If there's any other games, off the top of your head, because obviously I'm going to do some research after all this, video, recording, editing, all that lot. So you might actually see, if you know more about it, let me know, because otherwise it'll just be one of those games. Might be the only game Black Pearl ever made, who knows. Next thing I got was Street Fighter, the game, the movie, the game, I should say. Yeah, if you've heard of the legacy of this garbage, and I use the word garbage, because it was just basically like the stop motion characters that you see in Mortal Kombat, only with a Street Fighter movie character. So it was Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile, Kylie Minogue as Cammy, what's his name? Raul Julial as M. Bison, because I love the film. I'm one of them people that love the film. I know it's bad. It gets a lot of bad rep. I don't care. I love the film. I enjoy it. And I've heard legends of this game, and I just could not say no to this game. But obviously, when the last time I saw it was from my youth. I had no idea of the film. I never saw the film before until after it. And when I did see the film, it was literally during the end. I wouldn't say the end of the PlayStation 1 era, but it was one of those things where it was like, we were still in PlayStation 1, but we also had a Sega Saturn, and it was sort of like, we could only get it for one of these two games. And it was definitely one of those things where it's like, well, if we find it, we get it. Never did. Now, normally I would, because obviously I know I've won the bingo thing, but I've still got some more things to put on the bingo board. That's why I've not fully ended the thing. Because this is the other one. Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't need to say much more than this. I've always wanted this game as a kid. I played the demo of it a long time ago. I had friends that have had this game. I've never had it. And I've finally got it, so I can add that to the bingo card. Something from my youth I've never been able to get. I'm glad I've got this at last. It is mine, my precious. And it's just one of those things where, because there was a few others besides this one. They also had I'm trying to remember. I think it was Marvel vs. Street Fighter. They had that. I was tempted with that. They also had I think it was like Street Fighter versus X-Men. Again, I was tempted with that. But this was one I wanted from my youth, because I remember some of the characters involved in it, because there was some, I'm trying to remember a lot of them, because I think they had like Venom, they had Spider-Man from the Marvel side. Capcom, I remember they had Ryu, and I think they had M. Bison in it. But there's one character I saw, two characters I saw, that Shuma, I'm going to say Shamagoth or something. It was like an eyeball with tentacles. And Blackheart. I've never heard of any of those two. Literally, I remember reading, this was back in when Sega Saturn brought out their own magazine. That's when I first saw this. I thought, I want this game. And I never knew that it was on a different console, because I kept wanting it on the Sega Saturn, not the PlayStation. But then it was after Sega Saturn went to Dreamcast that someone told me, hey, you know, this game's available on other consoles, right? And I was like, what? They have more than one? You know, like, it was one of those things, because I thought, if it was in that magazine, it's only from that company. You know, it was only in that thing. So it's like, if I saw, I'm trying to think, like, as a good example, like Resident Evil, because I remember reading Resident Evil in the Sega Saturn magazine, and I thought, right, it's got to be a Sega Saturn exclusive game, this, because it's only in Sega Saturn magazine. And then, but that was only because at the time, PlayStation magazine wouldn't show Resident Evil, which I thought was absolutely amazing. So I'm finally glad to have that. Another game I got, Ren and Stimpy, Stimpy's Invention. I've heard of Ren and Stimpy. I've heard of the games. That's pretty much it. And I thought, I've never heard, you know, and people, I've heard some people actually say, you want something crazy, you want something, you know, watch Ren and Stimpy. And this was obviously from my youth. I've never heard of Ren and Stimpy. As I got older, more people said, oh, give Ren and Stimpy a go. I thought, all right, fair enough. And hey, I like it. I was hoping to get, for example, and I'm actually saying this as an example, the game Fire Dogs, because of AVGN talking about Fire Dogs. So I thought, right, I got to get Fire Dogs. Couldn't find Fire Dogs. So I got Stimpy's Invention. It's sort of, I wouldn't say plan B, but that's what it feels like. I got a signature. It's hard to tell, but there it is. Kane Hodder, aka Jason. This is my own copy, but I finally got his signature. I love Jason X. It's my favourite. I'm one of them sarcastic people, but this is one of my favourite films from the Jason franchise. I know people will say that, like, say for example, the fourth one's the best, the third one, hell, some people. I know a few people that think the eighth film's brilliant. But this is my favourite film, and I finally got his signature, so obviously that's part of the price. I've got a few more things to get, so quick editing now. Okay, I'm back. Here we go. I found the comic, the King Arthur comic. Yes, it's in French, but that's only the title. Everything else inside it is English, so they are. I knew it was somewhere because there's a lot. I got a lot of things like the pop figures and that lot. Got this for free. Official Comic Con coin. There we are. This is from the Coin Club. This is pure silver. I know I can take this out, but I don't want to because I like this. I might have to try and look for, I'm going to say a coin stand or something because this is absolutely incredible. I finally got, because they were giving these away. I think it was like 1,000 per day, and I think I couldn't get in the first day because they hadn't set up. Well, that's what I got told, but we didn't look at the other end of the room, I will admit to that, because most of us were in the first room looking around there. Excuse me. Second one, it was a very long queue, and it was sort of like I couldn't stand. I didn't want to be there just to be told no, so I'd have to come back like as soon as possible the next day. But I did come in on Sunday, and I finally got the coin, so yay. They were free anyway, so. Pokemon Lego pieces. Well, I'd say Lego pieces. These are technically called gift series DIY educational toys. Excuse me. But basically, I got Diglett and Caterpie. The reason for both of these two, because one, I like Caterpie, especially from the anime series Pokemon. And Diglett, I actually like Diglett because before I actually watched this on the anime series, I played the video game first, and I actually caught, I think, about 3 Digletts, and I think only one would actually evolve to Dugtrio. But I just love the idea of something like this being a Pokemon, because it makes you think, right, what the hell's his body? Because you never see its body, you always see its head pop up, and I like that idea where your imagination runs wild, and doesn't help when there's 3 of them with Dugtrio. I'm one of those people, you know. I got a butt ton of pop figures, but the first thing I got was some cereal. The Funko Batman cereal. Now, there were a few others I would love to have gotten, because I know there is one where you've got Freddy Krueger in, and I know there's Freddy Krueger. That was the main one I wanted. They didn't have that. I think Pinhead's one, Jason's one, Pennywise's one, I think, but I might be wrong on that one. But I saw this. They had Batman or Batgirl. I went with Batman. And as you can hear, that is proper cereal in the box. So I thought, what the hell? And I'm one of them people that, excuse me, has to get something different. Speaking of pop figures, I got a ton of pop figures. I got Frieza. Frieza, in my opinion, has to be the best of the Dragon Ball Z villains, and it's in his final form. I was hoping to get Super Saiyan Goku as well. I couldn't. They didn't have him. I was a bit upset with that. But I don't care because I got Freezer anyway. Yeah, I'm happy to have gotten Freezer. I also got Creeper. Now, I love creepers for some weird reason because of the design. And when I saw this, I thought, yes, I gotta get a creeper. So, if you're a big fan of creepers, there you go. If you're not, sorry. I also got Pickle Rick. Now, I could not say no to a Pickle Rick. It was either this, I will admit, or Scary Terry. They were the two I had a choice from, but I got Pickle Rick instead. If you've not seen the episode Pickle Rick, watch Rick again. Watch Rick and Morty. Watch it up until Pickle Rick because that's the best episode in my opinion. I also got these. I got a Vegeta. This is the early Vegeta from, I'm going to say season 1, but this known as the Saiyan Saga, where he was evil and actually wanted to destroy the planet. You know, and enslave it, all that lot. You know, if you watch it, you'll understand the reference. Lord Voldemort. Now, this is part of the bingo of what's it, Funko, pop figures of TVs or movies that I hate because I hate or don't like. I can't remember what it is, but I'm not a big fan of the Harry Potter franchise. I'm just not. But I remember seeing Voldemort, only like images of Voldemort, and I thought that is an absolutely amazing character. That I thought that's me. Everyone said, "Oh, he's evil, he's evil." I thought, "Oh, brilliant! What's he from? He's from Harry Potter." Oh, I'm not bothered then. Literally, that was. I'm not joking. That was literally me because I would not watch Harry Potter just to watch one character, and I'm one of them. It's just me. Everyone could say a lot of things, but I could not watch that. Harry Potter just because of one character. I did try to watch the first one, but I think it was like later on the line, I got really, really lost with it, and I just could not bother with the second one or the third. And finally, Pennywise, the original Pennywise. I had to get a Pennywise. I have a choice either this one or the newer Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård one, but I had to get the original, mostly because I liked the design of this one. Plus, I actually get a reason to go, wah! I can't do it as good as this guy right here. And finally, the biggest item I've got, which I wouldn't say I regret buying, but I bought a Crash Bandicoot PVC figure. Now, I know you can get these, I think it's with the special edition of Crash. I'm going to say Twin Sanity, but I know that's not it because that was a different game. But the remastered game, the trilogy, you could get this as a special feature. But I bought this on its own because I just loved it. They had a few others to choose from, but I'm a sucker for Crash Bandicoot. That Infernal Bandicoot. And that's pretty much, excuse me, it for what I've bought. I've got a lot of things I will admit I've bought, which means, oh no wait, I got one more. I forgot my drinking horn. I have my traditional Viking drinking horn. I just spotted it then. I only bought this because I just like the idea of drinking horns. I'm one of them people. Plus, I could always make the joke of like, what I could drink this while watching like 4 or something like that. You're like, another, and so throw it on the floor. Well, I like it. Another. Hopefully, it won't shatter like that. When he drank the coffee. But yeah, that's everything I've got. Actually, no, it isn't because I keep forgetting because I've got everything with those 3 Funko figures, you know, Vegeta, Voldemort, and Pennywise. I got a free mug. I got it's upside down, idiot. There you are. I got Death Note. There was two to choose. There was various to choose from, but the two that I had my eye on were this or Deadpool. But I thought no, Death Note, because I'm one of them people that likes anime, and even if I don't use this, I just like plop it down like that. That's more than enough. So that is definitely it. That is everything I got from Comic-Con. I really had fun. I enjoyed myself. I'll definitely go. I probably wouldn't go to the London one again unless necessary, depending on like who I meet, things like that. But oh, that was my neck then. I needed that. But yeah, if like say for example, just as a shot in the arm here, like because I know there's one coming in November for Birmingham, so I could, I could go to that one, but I'm not because obviously I want to get everything here already put on the shelves, which is behind here because I have no room. And obviously, like all the games, I want to put them on the shelves, things like that. So, with that being said, I think it's only fair to call this an episode. So, thank you for watching. I really enjoy myself. I hope to see another Comic Con again. It'll definitely be like next year or year after, but I definitely want to go to one again. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you again in the future. Bye bye.